Hello. As you can see, it's snowing here in the Windy City. Here in Des Plaines, Illinois, I'm in front of my house here. And there you see the tree right there behind me. That's the haunted tree of the devil ant. Here's the gate I go through in my movies. I'm going to go back here now so I can... Ow! 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 I spilled coffee. Ow! Spilled coffee on my... Oh, man. I got to put that down for a second here while I open the gate. Man, that hurts. Wow. Ow, ow, ow. You can see now I spilled coffee all over my cup here. No, I'm going to use my foot to close that gate. There we go. There we go. Okay, I closed it. Okay, here I am in the backyard of our house in Des Plaines, Illinois. It's snowing today. And today is Friday, February the 10th. And you know what today is? It's the birthday of one of my favorite actors. You know him. Lon Chaney Jr. Lon Chaney Jr., the Wolfman. He played the Wolfman in 1941. Of course, before that, he was in Mice and Men. Of Mice and Men. The story, you know, where George, that's played by George Meredith? Yeah, the guy who plays Penguin. Yeah, Burgess Meredith. He plays George, and Lon Chaney Jr. plays, you know, the slightly mentally retarded, you know, farm boy there. You know, he says, I see him, George. He says, look out there, you know, see the rabbits? I see him, George. I see him, George. I see him. That's a bad imitation. But, you know, we know him as the Wolfman. That's what he's best remembered for. And Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, that was a good one, too. Great makeup in that. I sort of like the makeup in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman sort of better. That's good movie, fast-paced. Right at the beginning, there's an attack. You know, he attacks that policeman, you know, after he revives, after the moonlight hits him in the graveyard, you know, when he's in the tomb, you know, when those grave robbers break in. Yeah, and they take away the wolf's bane, and the moonlight hits him, and he attacks the guy. Yeah, then he attacks that cop in the alley. That is a cool scene. It's a faster-paced movie, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. And then you got the monster, Bela Lugosi as the monster, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. You know, he was the first choice to play the monster before Boris Karloff got the part. And they offered it to him, and the posters actually featured Bela Lugosi as the monster. They say, starring Bela Lugosi as the monster. But, you know, it wasn't a speaking role is what I heard. And so Bela Lugosi, he wanted, you know, he spoke real good, you know, that Romanian accent, I believe. Bela Lugosi, as he's known for Dracula. So he turned it down. And he says, well, he suggested a man named William Henry Pratt, who was sitting, you know, over there at the set, and or whatever. That's what I heard. This is what I heard. You know, Boris Karloff was around, and Bela Lugosi suggested they get him. And so they gave him the stage name of Boris Karloff. That's how he first got the stage name Boris Karloff when he played Frankenstein. But his original name was William Henry Pratt, that Boris Karloff, my favorite actor. Many of our favorite actors. Anyway, I mean, so today is Lon Chaney Jr.'s birthday, you know, and then later he appeared in The Ghost of Frankenstein as the monster. He played all the monsters. 1942, Ghost of Frankenstein. In 1942, The Mummy's Tomb. And then it spawned a couple sequels, you know, The Mummy's Ghost, The Mummy's Curse in 1945. You know, World War II time movies, you know, those you know, wartime movies, you know. But anyway, I mean, they were made during World War II. And they entertained the audience while the soldiers were out at war. You know, good entertaining movies. Those are all classics. Mummy's Tomb, Mummy's Ghost, Mummy's Curse, Ghost of Frankenstein, one of the best Frankenstein movies ever. It's one of my top favorite films. One of them. It's in my top 5, I'd say, movies. Just like Son of Frankenstein's in my top 5. And that's on Svengoolie tomorrow, February 11th, on Svengoolie at 9 p.m. on MeTV Network. Yeah. Go to MeTVNetwork.com. MeTVNetwork.com and tell them David Rock Nelson sent you. No, go to Svengoolie.com. Svengoolie.com. SVENGOOLIE. Svengoolie.com and tell them David Rock Nelson sent you. You know, the monster movie maker. That's me. Hey, I got my Monster Mash shirt. And look, there's Frankenstein, my favorite monster. That's Glenn Strange. He took over the role after Lon Chaney. No, after Bela Lugosi. First it was Karloff, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, which is my favorite film, 1935. Then Son of Frankenstein, which is on tomorrow, and that's 1939. Then Ghost of Frankenstein, 1942, with Lon Chaney. Then in 1943, Bela played the monster. Finally, he accepted the role I guess he saw all the success Karloff was getting, getting all millions from playing in 3 sequels. I think Son of Frankenstein netted something like $3.5 million, or grossed. Boris Karloff made it, that's what he got net, like $3.5 million for that. Because then the Frankenstein franchise was picking up. He's making big money. He's getting known as the monster. When he first played Frankenstein, Karloff got $125 a week. But that's when he's starting out. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, and then Lon Chaney Jr., of course, he was in Dracula vs. Frankenstein, his final role, where he played Groton, the assistant. So happy birthday to Lon Chaney Jr., the Lonster. That's what Ron Adams calls him, the Lonster. That's Lon plus Monster equals Lonster. Lon Chaney Jr., one of my favorite actors. At one time, he was my favorite actor. Of course, he's also in that Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, his last time as the Wolfman, 1947. That's one of my favorite films. That and Bride of Frankenstein are like my 2 favorite movies of all time. You got all the monsters in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. You got the Frankenstein monster, the Wolfman, Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi as Dracula. I am Dracula. I bid you welcome. I never drink wine. I only drink coffee. Where's my coffee at? There's my coffee at. There it is, right there. I must get out my coffee stirrer. I must get out one of my pick a stir. I got a red one. I got a black one. I'm gonna pick this one. The red one looks like blood, but I got my blood in here. I also drink Bud. No, I drink Blood Light. with sugar in it. Yeah, I got my sugar in my coffee, my nice hot Java. I never drink blood or Java. I never drink wine. I only drink Java. It's good Java. Good Dr. Suave Java, imported all the way from haunted Pontiac, Michigan, where Dr. Suave Dave Piper hangs out. Monster caricature artist for Scary Monsters magazine. And Dave Piper, Dr. Suave did a caricature art of me in a comic for Scary Monsters magazine a couple issues ago. So here's the Dr. Suave. Thank you for this great Java, the best Java in the world. Good. It's good Java. It's David Rock Nelson speaking to you. Oh, and today is also Michael Flores, Psychotronic Film Society, the president of Psychotronic Film Society in Chicago. It's his big birthday, the same birthday as Lon Chaney Jr. So here's the Michael Flores, president, fearless leader of the Psychotronic Film Society. Yeah, he's the one that gave me the name Ed Wood of the 90s back in fall of 92, November 92. He says to Brian Wendorf, who now runs the Chicago Underground Film Fest with his friend Jay Bliznick. Well, this is before he started that. He tells Brian Wendorf in fall of November 92, when I was helping Flores move from his apartment, he says, I swear, this guy's the Ed Wood of the 90s. He makes movies with his friends. He has no budget. He has no script. His movies are off the wall, off the ceiling, because he was watching my World First Dracula. And he was watching that was a short film, 92, with Dracula from Space. When he saw that, he got cracking him. He goes, I swear, you're the Ed Wood of the 90s. He says, I swear, this guy's the Ed Wood of the 90s. He tells that to Brian Wendorf when he came over to help Flores move. So that was over on 18th Street near the expressway there, when I was helping Flores move back then. And so anyway, he's moved a bunch of times. I've helped move about 5, 6, 7 times since. But anyway, so here's the Michael Flores, and he made it official. I am the Ed Wood of the 21st century at the world premiere of my movie, Werewolf and the Witch, in September 15th of 2007 at the Sonatech nightclub, where they screened my Werewolf and the Witch when my new documentary, The Rock, Ed Wood of the 21st century, was coming out. Yeah, they were filming it. So anyway, so he made it official at that screening of Werewolf and the Witch in Chicago, on West Chicago Avenue at the Sonatech nightclub, that he said that David the Rock, he says, we are here to celebrate David the Rock Nelson. And I am making it official. Nelson is the Ed Wood of the 21st century. And the people are clapping, like 15 people there. my diehard fans were there. Yeah, celebrating with me, celebrating the Rock, having brewskis, guzzling brewskis, and I'm guzzling my Java now. Good. That's good Java. And I'm going back in to watch This Island Earth on this 26.5. It's on now. It's a classic. They just showed Tarantula. Now they're showing This Island Earth. So I get back there and watch it. Okay, and watch Svengoolie tomorrow on Me TV Network at 9 p.m. Chicago Central Time. Okay, cut, that's perfect. On Me TV, yeah, okay.